Okay guys, it's Team SoulBlaze back at it again with another video. So we hope you guys enjoy. Don't forget to like, comment any other decks you guys want us to do down here, and burn up the subscribe button. So let's get started. Today is Mandala's Destiny Hero deck that he used a long time ago and we haven't seen since. But let's go ahead and get this started. So first off, we have 2 copies of Destiny Hero Dogma. So level 8, Dark Attribute, 3,400 attack points and 2,400 defense points. Cannot be normal summoned or set. Must be special summoned from your hand by attributing 3 monsters, including at least 1 Destiny Hero monster, which this whole deck is, so this should be pretty much easy to bring this thing out. And once per turn, if you still control this face-up card during your opponent's next standby phase after this card is special summoned this way, half your opponent's life points. They have 8,000 life points, boom, 4,000 life points right then and there. They have 16,000 life points, boom, 8,000. Just this thing being here just wipes out half their life points. So really useful. 2 copies. It's more likely here for something else that we'll get onto later, but he's still useful though. 2 copies of Destiny Hero Plasma. You can never have a Destiny Hero deck without Aster's Ace card, aka Plasma. Level 8, Dark Attribute, 1900 attack, 600 defense. Cannot be normal summoned or set. Must be special summoned from your hand by attributing 3 monsters. Negate the effects of face-up monsters while your opponent controls them. So pretty much anything your opponent has that's face-up is negated. And then once per turn, you can target 1 monster your opponent controls, equip that target to this card, max 1, and this card gains attack equal to half the original attack of the monster equipped to it by its effect. So say you're fighting another Destiny Hero deck, right? And then like they brought out a Dogma. You could absorb that Dogma and it would gain 1,700 attack points because half of 34 is 17. So useful card. Once more, it's here for other reasons besides the fact of its actual ability, but it's still useful. I'd say it's more useful than Dogma. So 2 copies. 2 copies of Destiny Hero Dreadmaster. If this card is special summoned by the level 8, by the way, questionable. Its attack and defense are both unknown. It really just depends on certain factors. So its ability. If this card is special summoned by the effect of Clock Tower Prison, destroy all monsters except Destiny Hero monsters. Also, after that, you can special summon up to 2 Destiny Hero monsters from your graveyard. After this card is special summoned, for the rest of this turn, Destiny Hero monsters you control cannot be destroyed. Also, you take no battle damage from when they battle. The attack and defense of this card are equal to the combined original attack of all other Destiny Heroes you control. So pretty much, you have this thing on the field, and you get power for each Destiny Hero on your field. So it gets stronger depending on what you have on your field. So useful card, but not too useful, and his ability only activates if it's from Clock Tower Prison, so 2 copies. 3 copies of the Destiny Hero Malicious. So level 6, 800 attack, 800 defense. You can banish this card from your graveyard and special summon 1 Destiny Hero Malicious from your deck to the field. That ability is really useful because, you know, it just gets you an extra monster, and in this deck, just getting extra monsters for no reason from the graveyard is awesome, and this deck can do good things with the graveyard. So all around good card, 3 copies because you want to have more than 2. Well, you need more than 1 to use the ability, so I would suggest like 2 or 3. Next up, 3 copies of Destiny Hero Dynatag. One of my favorite Destiny Heroes anyways. So level 5, 1,000 attack and defense. During your damage calculation, when you would take battle damage, quick effect, you can discard this card from your hand, make yourself take no battle damage from that battle, and if you do, each player takes 1,000 points of damage. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target 1 Destiny Hero monster you control. It gains 1,000 attack points till the end of the opponent's next turn. So pretty much, say your opponent has like 1,000 or less life points, and you also have 1,000 or less life points, or like they have an attack that's going to kill you. What you do is use Dynatag as long as you're about to take damage, and then you discard it, you don't take the damage, then your opponent dies because they just took 1,000 points of damage. So really good card, 3 copies, plus he also strengthens your monsters. Next up, 3 copies of Destiny Hero Celestial. Apparently everyone that I know's favorite. This is everyone that I know who likes Destiny Hero's favorite card. So when the level 4, 1,600 attack, 1,400 defense. When this card declares an attack, you can target 1 face-up spell your opponent controls, destroy it, and if you do, inflict 500 points of damage to your opponent. Where you have no cards in your hand except the turn that this card was set to the graveyard, you can banish this card and 1 Destiny Hero monster from your graveyard. If you do, draw 2 cards. You can only use each effect of Celestial once per turn. So pretty much, you banish this card from the grave as long as it wasn't there from the get-go, and you get to draw 2 as long as you have another Destiny Hero in the graveyard with it. Not to mention that you can just destroy a free spell. Watch out, Neo, so this card is coming for you. Next up, 3 copies of the Destiny Hero Drill Dark. 1,600 attack, level 4, 1200 defense. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can special summon one Destiny Hero monster from your hand with attack less than or equal to this card's attack on the field. You can only use this effect of Destiny Hero Geodark once per turn, and if it attacks a monster in defense mode, inflict piercing damage. So he can already do piercing damage, but he can get you an extra monster, which can be useful because you can basically bring out Dogma or Plasma slightly easier. So all around, really good card, 3 copies. And I think you can technically bring out Dreadmaster with this, I'm not so sure. Next up, 3 copies of Destiny Hero Decider. Level 4, 1600 attack, 1000 defense. Level 6 or higher monsters your opponent controls cannot target this card for attacks, and you can only use each of the following effects of Destiny Hero Decider once per duel. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can add one hero monster from your graveyard to your hand during the end phase of this turn, and when a card or effect is activated that would inflict damage to you while this card is in your graveyard, quick effect, return this card to your hand, and if you do, make the effect damage to 0. Which is good, because 1, your opponent can't target with level 6 or higher monsters, so this thing is basically immortal to very certain cards, and you can basically add a hero from your graveyard to your hand, which can get you back resources or get you back certain good cards, hint, Geodark, or Plasma, or Dogma, or anything in the extra deck for that matter, and it can just prevent you from taking effect damage, as long as it's in the grave itself. So, all around, really good card, 3 copies. Next up, 3 copies of the Destiny Hero Draw Guy. I mean, technically his name is Draw Guy, but at the same time it's Draw a Hand, it's really up to you. Level 4, 1600 attack, 800 defense. If this card is special summoned by the effect of a hero monster, you can make each player draw 1 card. And during the next standby phase, after this card was sent to the graveyard, you can special summon this card from your graveyard, but banish it when it leaves the field. You can only use each effect of Draw Guy or Draw a Hand once per turn. That's useful, because pretty much he's guaranteed to draw, because as long as he's summoned by any hero effect that counts himself, you get to draw a card. And yes, so does your opponent, but that draw can benefit you a lot. So all around, really good card, 3 copies. 3 copies of Destiny Hero Diamond Dude. 1400 attack, 1600 defense, level 4 as well. Once per turn, you can excavate the top card of your deck, and if it's a normal spell, send it to the grave, otherwise place it at the bottom of your deck. During the main phase of the next turn, you can activate the effect of that spell in your graveyard, even if Destiny Hero Diamond Dude is no longer on the field. But that's useful. You can just flip over the top card of your deck, send it to the grave, and if it was a normal spell, in that case there's only 2 cards in this deck that actually fit that bill, you can use it during the next turn, even Diamond Dude went to the graveyard or is back in the deck, or etc. So all around, really good card, and 3 copies, because he actually does unleash plays. Next up, 3 copies of Destiny Hero Dread Servant. This is mostly here for 1 card. If this level 3, 400 attack, 700 defense, if this card is normal summoned, place 1 clock counter on each clock tower prison, and when this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can target 1 spell or trap you control and destroy that target. This is here for Clock Tower Prison, obviously, because things activate when you use Clock Tower Prison and when you destroy it. So, really useful card, 3 copies, especially in this version of the deck. You can, if you don't want this in your deck and you don't want Clock Tower Prison, I suggest swapping it out for Dark Angel and another fusion card. Next up, 3 copies of Destiny Hero Dreamair. Level 1, 0 attack, 600 defense. During damage calculation, if your Destiny Hero monster battles and this card is in your graveyard, you can special summon this card, and if you do, your monster cannot be destroyed by that battle, and you also take no battle damage from that battle. If this is summoned this way, banish it when it leaves the field. You can only use the effect of Destiny Hero Dreamer once per turn. That's useful. It can prevent you from death, it lets you get an extra defender out, and it just lets your monster live longer, so 3 copies. Now to spells. 3 copies of Destiny Draw, everyone's favorite card everyone's favorite move to shout out when they think they're gonna pull an anime move. Basically, just discard Destiny Hero card and then draw 2. Useful, you can use Diamond Dude to hopefully mill and then next turn activate it. But all around, really good card, and it's like a free pot of greed, so 3 copies. Next up, 3 copies of Fusion Destiny, the card you really want to see with Diamond Dude because it's really useful. Fusion summon 1 fusion monster from your extra deck that lists a Destiny Hero monster as fusion material, using monsters from your hand or deck as the material, which is useful because that means even if your hand is 0, it can still activate. But destroy it during the end phase of the next turn. Also, for the rest of this turn after this card effect resolves, you cannot special summon monsters except for Dark Hero monsters. You can only activate 1 Fusion Destiny per turn. That is really useful, because yes, it kills your monster during the next turn, and you can only special summon Dark Hero monsters for the rest of the turn, but 1, this whole deck is Dark Hero, so it's always going to happen. But 2, you can fusion summon from the deck. That's useful. Yeah, that means you can have 0 hand cards besides this one, and you can still use it. So all around, really good card, 3 copies. 3 copies of a card I've been talking about for a little while now, Clock Tower Prison. Field spell. Once per turn, during your opponent's standby phase, place 1 clock counter on this card. While there are 4 more clock counters on this card, you do not take any battle damage. If this card with 4 more clock counters is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, you special summon 1 Destiny Hero Dreadmaster from hand or deck. So pretty much you use Dread Servant and your opponent's standby phase to clock up its clock towers, and then you can't take battle damage. But then, if you were to destroy Dread Servant, you could destroy Clock Tower Prison, which allows you to bring out Dreadmaster. So all around good card, 3 copies. Next up, we have the other field spell, Dark City, at 3 copies. When a Destiny Hero monster attacks, if its attack is lower than the attack of the attack target, the attacking monster gains 1,000 attack points during damage calculation. So pretty much, it's like Skyscraper, but for Destiny Heroes. Really useful, 3 copies. Next up, 3 copies of D Fortune. When your opponent declares a direct attack, banish 1 Destiny Hero monster from your graveyard and the battle phase. Really useful, pretty much just shut down the battle phase, which is awesome, and you can survive the next turn. Next up, we got 3 copies of D Counter. When a Destiny Hero monster you control is targeted for an attack, destroy the attacking monster. It defends you, it saves you, all around, really good card, 3 copies. Next up, 3 copies of D Fusion. The only other fusion card in this deck, and it's still a useful card. Fusion summon 1 fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters you control as fusion material, and if you do, cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects this turn. Only Destiny Hero monsters can be used as fusion material for fusion summoning using this card's effect. So all around, really useful card. It's helpful, it fusion summons, it does everything, and it's like a quick play spell, technically speaking. So 3 copies. Next up, 3 copies of Destiny Signal. When a monster you control is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, special summon 1 level 4 lower Destiny Hero monster from your hand or deck. So pretty much, something dies, get a hero up for it. Really useful, you can use Drow Dark if so need be. You need defensive, use Decider. You need Draw Guy, you need Diamond Dude, etc. So all around good cards. And then finally, D-Chain, a card I dick move Mondalo with plenty of times. Target a Destiny Hero monster you control, equip this card to that target, it gains 500 attack. When it destroys a monster your opponent controls by battle, send it to the graveyard, and inflict 500 points of damage to your opponent. Really useful, can be used for aggressiveness, it can be used as a bait trap, so all around good card, 3 copies. Now onto the extra deck. 1 copy of Extra Hero Inferno Divisor. So it requires 2 hero monsters to link summon. If this card is link summoned, you can, it also has 1700 attack points. If you can reveal 1 hero monster from in your extra deck, and if you do add up to 2 fusion materials listed on that card with different names from your deck to your hand, you cannot special summon monsters the turn you activate this effect except for hero monsters. This deck has all heroes, that's never going to happen, well, except for 1 card in this deck. And you can only use the effect of Extra Hero Inferno Divisor once per turn. Feeding monsters this card points to gains attack and defense equal to its level times 100. So that part is never going to go off except for itself, but still, it's really useful. It's helpful. It gets you extra fusion materials if you need them in your hand instead of actually in your deck for Fusion Destiny. So all around good card, 1 copy. 1 copy of Extra Hero Wonder Divisor. So 1900 attack, link 2, same cost as last one to bring up it use 2 hero monsters. If a hero monster is normal or special summoned to the zone this card points to, target 1 polymerization spell card, 1 fusion spell card, or 1 change quick play spell card in your graveyard. Set that target. You can only activate this effect of Extra Hero Wonder Driver once per turn. If this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, or if this card is in your possession is destroyed by your opponent's card effects, and sent to your graveyard, special summon 1 hero monster from your hand. Useful, it can bring out any hero monster from your hand that you possibly need, and it can get you a polymerization, a change quick play spell, or a fusion card. So all around, good card, 1 copy. 2 copies of Extra Hero Cross Guy. 1600 attack, link 2. He requires 2 warrior monsters. All of this deck is warrior except for 1 card, so this should be fairly enough easy to use. If this card is Link Summon, you can target one Destiny Hero monster in your graveyard, special summon it, you contribute one Destiny Hero monster and add one hero monster with a different name from your deck to your hand. You can only use each effect of Extra Hero Cross Crusader once per turn. Also, you cannot special summon monsters the turn you activate either of these cards' effect except for hero monsters. So, really useful, get a hero back, then you contribute it to get another hero. So good card, 2 copies. Finally, 1 copy of Extra Hero Dread Decimator. Link 3, he requires 2 or more hero monsters, 2500 attack points. This card and also any other hero it points to gains 100 attack for each hero monster with different card names in your graveyard. If this card attacks a defense mode monster, inflict piercing damage. Really useful, does piercing damage and gives you power. 1 copy. 2 copies of Destiny Hero Dangerous. Level 6, 2000 attack, 2600 defense. 1 Destiny Hero monster plus 1 Dark Effect monster. Quick effect, you can discard 1 card, send 1 Destiny Hero monster from your hand or deck to the graveyard, and if you do, Destiny Hero monsters you control gain 200 attack for each Destiny Hero monster in your grave till end of turn. You can only use this effect of Destiny Hero Dangerous once per turn. That's useful because you can send stuff to the graveyard and constantly increase your own power and build up for Cross Guy or Decimator, but still, that's really big. It can increase your power for big walls, and since it's a quick effect, you can use it as a trap along with D-Chain. So, good card, 2 copies. 2 copies of Destiny Hero Dystopia. 2 Destiny Hero monsters to summon it, level 8, 2800 attack, 2400 defense. If this card is special summoned, you can target 1 level 4 lower Destiny Hero monster in your graveyard, inflict damage to your opponent equal to that target's attack. If this card's current attack is different from its original attack, except during the damage step, quick effect, you can target 1 card on the field and destroy it. If you do, this card's attack becomes equal to its original attack. You can only use each effect of Dystopia once per turn. So pretty much you have to constantly strengthen it to destroy stuff on the field, but that's still useful, and he can do more effect damage. So all around, good card, 2 copies. 2 copies of Destiny Hero Dominance, or Dominate Guy. So he requires 3 Destiny Hero monsters, level 10 with 2900 attack and 2600 defense. During your main phase, you can look at the top 5 cards of your deck or your opponent's deck, then place them at the top of the deck in any order. When this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can draw a card, and if this fusion summon card is destroyed by battle or by card effect, you can target 3 level 9 or lower Destiny Hero monsters with different names in your graveyard, special summon them. You can only use each effect of Destiny Hero Dominance once per turn. So pretty much, you can stack your opponent's deck or your deck, then when he kills a thing by battle, you get to draw a card, and finally when he dies, you can get pretty much anything but Plasma and Dogma. So all around, good card, 2 copies. Next up is Destiny Hero Dusktopia. Level 10, 3000 attack and defense. He requires 1 Destiny Hero Fusion monster and 1 Destiny Hero monster. If this card is fusion summoned, you can fusion summon 1 fusion monster from your extra deck using materials from your hand or field as fusion material. Once per turn, quick effect, you can target 1 monster on the field, make it unable to be destroyed by battle or card effects, and if you do, neither player takes any damage from attacks involving that monster. These effects last until the end of the turn, so you can make it like you can target itself, you can target another monster. Pretty much really decent card, defends other things, and he's kind of difficult to get out, but he's still useful nonetheless, so 2 copies. Finally, 2 copies of Aster's 2 ace cards combined, Destiny and Dragoon. Level 10, 3000 attack and 3000 defense, the only non-hero in this deck, even though it technically counts as one. It requires Plasma and Dogma to use, and a fusion summon of this card can only be done with the above fusion materials. Once per turn, you can target 1 monster your opponent controls, destroy that target, and if you do, if it was face up, inflict damage to your opponent equal to the attack it had on the field. You cannot conduct your battle phase the turn you activate this effect. Once per turn during your standby phase, if this card's in your graveyard, you can banish 1 Destiny Hero card from your graveyard, special summon this card. Pretty much use Fusion Destiny to bring out Dragoon, and then when Dragoon dies by the next turn by Destiny's effect, you can just keep bringing it back. So good card. The only way to get rid of it is to actually banish it or return it back to the hand or deck. So 2 copies. Well, as the deck, I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment any other videos you want to see, and burn up the subscribe button. So don't forget to keep your souls blazing.